Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, before we get into the topics of today's vid, I just want to say I'm switching up on y'all. Yeah, I'm switching up on y'all. For y'all that don't know, I know my fan base on this channel is completely different to my fan base on the main channel. If you guys don't know, MT, one of the biggest streamers in my city of Toronto, he recognized my talent and he even commented on one of my vids. I didn't know how to act. I was running so much, bro, because like I was in shock, bro. Like this guy is one of the faces of like double content creators and he recognized me for my work. So anyways, we on the come up. It's only up from here. So anyways, on to the matches. To be fair, the only match I watched was Inter versus Udinese because of one guy. You might have seen him on the thumbnail, and we'll talk about him later. But United versus City, wow. I didn't watch the game, but I heard City got absolutely schooled on the pitch and tactically as well. Because ever since Michael Carrick came into the job posting for Manchester United manager, his first two matches were against Man City and Arsenal, two title contenders, and back-to-back. Everyone thought it was cooked. Shoot, I was planning on running, I'm not gonna lie, I was planning on running let me just get my words straight. I was planning on running an agenda saying that Manchester United fans, y'all should panic because y'all lost the first two games. Michael Carrick isn't that guy. I was really planning on running that agenda just to cause panic amongst Man United fans. But I'm not gonna lie, Carrick, he didn't do anything special. All he did really was play the players in their best positions for the past year under Ruben Amorim's tenure as Manchester United manager. Kobbie mainoo was holding bench, Bruno Fernandes was playing in a double pivot, was forced to do defensive work, and Amenyah was basically playing as a fullback. The hell? Like this was definitely, I'm not a Manchester United fan. This was, I don't know why. He was very stringent with the way he set up. But here's the thing. Sometimes you just gotta look at teams and you kind of need to understand what the best formation is for them. For example, this Manchester United team, it's obviously that a 4-back with a striker up top was the way to go. The only team in the Premier League that I'd say works well with a back three is Liverpool because we have Kirkes and Frimpong, two wingbacks. Especially Frimpong, his best years came from when he was playing as like that wide midfielder. Anyway, this is not Liverpool, this is about Manchester United. I'm looking at the roster and you can see kobbie mainoo and Casemiro. Kobbie mainoo for me is, I didn't really know how he was going to fit into the Manchester United team. For me, the only way is if you put him in a double pivot with a guy like a real proper destroyer. Like that's what he did today. That's what Carrick did today. He put kobbie mainoo alongside Casemiro. And because kobbie mainoo is a guy, I see him as like, he's very press resistant. He likes, not really carrying the ball, but like he's good in tight spaces. Kind of like a Florian Wirtz type of player. If dare I say, you guys correct me if I'm wrong. If you think otherwise, that's cool. So I always thought he was more of like an advanced 8, playing like in a double 10. So playing in a double 10, I think a double 10 is his best position. But for him to do that, you need like a proper like destroyer as that 6, which is what they did with Casemiro. In the transfer window, I would strongly recommend Manchester United to go after Baleba if you want to like fit kobbie mainoo into the system. For me, Baleba is the guy to go aside from Elliot Anderson. Well, actually no, I would say Elliot Anderson too, but Baleba is more defensive for me. But Elliot Anderson, like he can help you control games. He's very calm under the ball, very calm under pressure, can dictate games. Bruno Fernandes, I've believed in this guy to be one of the best chance creators in world football because he was playing in a double pivot, having to do a lot of defensive work. But guys, it's not rocket science. The best way to get the best out of Bruno Fernandes, you have to put him higher off the pitch. His best attributes are obviously his ability to create chances. Having the best goal creator on your team, playing like much deeper, just doesn't make sense. Patrick Dorgu, he grabs the goal. I don't really know how he played. Like I said, this is based off of like what Lyes and Liban and like all the other United fans are saying based on the vids I've watched there. And Amenyah, he's always been like a right winger. Yes, he tracks back and he can help out with defensive work, but him going forward is just like, that's what he's best at. It's like what you've seen at AFCON. He was one of the best players until like the quarterfinals. And boom at striker. I mean, listen, was Sesko injured? No, he was on the bench. To be fair, I hear it because Sesko, he's doing a mad thing. I don't know what he's doing. United fans are calling him, like, now I hear he's being called, like, a defensive 9.5 deep line, water carrying, ball striking center back or whatever next terminology they're trying to justify his signing. But that's Manchester United. You go into Manchester City, and I was confused by this lineup. So first things first, I don't think they've fully integrated Mark Guay into, with the club yet. I mean, he literally just got signed yesterday. So they're still playing Kusanov and Aline as like the back two, which I hear it. But and Rico Lewis as a right back. So obviously defensively, they're kind of in shambles. What I don't get is, wait, let me check this real quick. What I don't get is playing a double pivot of a frail old Portuguese man and a guy with one ACL. That for me doesn't make sense. And you're the most informed player this season from your team coming holding bench. That's what I don't understand. Bernardo Silva and for me, I even said it on like my last TikTok that I posted about Manchester City. Rodri isn't the guy anymore that he can be like a one-man midfield. He can't like be both the guy that's like, progressing the ball, but also like covering a lot of ground, intercepting every pass. No, he can't do that. He doesn't have the knees for that, okay? He's playing with one working ACL. To get the best out of Rodri, he has no athleticism, but he does have an incredible creative mind. What you do is start Nico... Wait, actually, let me check. Oh, Nico Gonzalez is doubtful, so yeah, I'm kind of... Okay, even then, what you do is get either Nico O'Reilly or maybe Rico Lewis to... Oh wait, that doesn't work. They don't even have any right backs. Okay, chat, on second thought, I think this is just Man City not having enough squad depth. I know they signed Bear, but it's a squad depth issue. Because they don't really have a proper like number 6, a real defensive number 6 to pair with Rodri. And Phil Foden, like I said, I don't think he can be like the main. He doesn't play best when he's playing like as the sole number 10. Like I said, when he's playing off of someone, when he's getting those balls and like linking up with them, getting those balls in those half spaces, turning and shooting, that's his best attribute. And I hear that they kind of did it with Bernardo Silva, but that didn't work. When Ryan Cherki came on, what was his passing? Oh, he had 0.27 expected assists, pretty good. But that's Manchester, that's the game. Inter versus Udinese. Now, I only watched the second half of this game because I woke up late. I only watched this game for one guy only. If you paid attention to my last vid, Oumar Solet. Now the story between me and Solet here, how should I call him? And Oumar. The story with me and Oumar is that I genuinely this was someone that I found based on my own research. By own research, I meant I got a list of like all the defenders across the big 5 leagues, got their long balls completed numbers, got their long ball percentage, put them in the axis, and see like who the upper echelon guys were. Basically the guys that would be in like the right half of the graph. Oumar Solet was one of those guys. Also another guy I want to shout out, actually not shout out because he's kind of famous. Mustafa Mbao from Paris FC. I watched the game against PSG and this guy, he's just not a good defender. But Oumar Solet, I watched his highlights. Yo, raw. Is he one of the best? He might be one of the best ball-playing center backs in the world. And he's playing for a mid-table Italian club. Wait for this guy to get a move to Liverpool. And for all you Liverpool fans watching this, you need to push that. Tell FSG. Obviously, you can't talk to FSG because we're just fans. But push on Twitter, push on Instagram, whatever social media you have. Push to sign this guy, Oumar Solet. Because my word, in a high-stakes game against Inter Milan, I mean, yes, they lost 1-0. But when I was watching, this guy, his ball playing is incredible. Him with the ball on his feet is so like press resistance. He's not press resistance in the sense where he can hold on to the ball for a long time, but rather he always he passes it when he needs to. He can even carry the ball out of the press, just swatting mans like Mosquito, like Yaya Toure. And for me, his best attribute isn't even his long balls. That's what I thought it was going to be. It's those line breaking passes, those through balls. But on the downside, I feel like he has some qualms about him. There's some qualms about him I'm not really confident about defensively. That being said, I think Liverpool should bring him in like a back 3. Not really a back 3. I'm going to talk about this in a later vid, but my ideal back 4 would be Kirkes, Van Dijk, or some other center back, Oumar Solet, and Xhaka, who is another center back, but he can defend out in wide positions. Kirkes goes up, and then you have a back 3 in build-up, with Solet being like the center back. I don't think he can play in the back 2 with 2 high-flying fullbacks playing next to him. I don't think that's his game. Or he can be brought in as a 6. Shoot, I think he should be our 6 over Gravenberch because I think he's much better in winning his duels. He provides that ball progression, or even you could say a double pivot with him and Gravenberch. Gravenberch being the ball carrier, and this guy being the more passing guy. That's all I gotta say. And last thing I want to talk about, AFCON player of the tournament. So why am I talking about this? Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about this. Going into the knockout stages, I thought the AFCON player of the tournament was between 3 guys. Amad Diallo, Brahim Diaz, and Ademola Lookman. These 3 have been the 3 standout players for AFCON up until that point. And I'm not gonna lie, Amad Diallo, him and Diomande was great. I thought Ahmed was the better performer. I think Diomande is the much better player. Future top 10 player in the world, by the way. You heard it here first. But once they played in the knockout stages, that's kind of where he fizzled out a bit. Once he started playing more serious teams like Egypt, he dropped the Hall of Fame stinker in the quarterfinals. I'm not gonna lie. As for Lookman has been great. You can make an argument he's been a top 3 player in AFCON, and because he put on a man of the match performance against Mozambique. He was incredible against Algeria. Morocco, he was, I didn't really think he was that good. And as for Brahim Diaz, yes, he's grabbing the goals, but I feel like it's not as much as he was playing in the group stage. His performances were carried by his group stage work. He has 5 goals. Yes, he's a top scorer, but I just think like that the match against Nigeria, he put up an absolute stinker. And maybe if he like puts on an absolute incredible performance in the final, maybe I can consider him as the AFCON player of the tournament. But the reason I'm talking about this, because it's a guy that I would have never expected to play this well. Because ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, based on what I've seen from AFCON, for me, the best player of that tournament has been Calvin Bassey. Let me explain. Mozambique, yes, that was basically a stat pad sesh, but throughout that game, this guy was absolutely locking up the Mozambique defense. Well, to be fair, he didn't really have much to do because Nigeria were absolutely dominating that game. But nonetheless, an incredible performance. Next game, arguably man of the match against Algeria. But to be fair, Algeria didn't really have much physicality in their attack, so it was pretty easy for Calvin Bassey to swat them like mosquitoes. Like, move, man. That's basically what he was doing. My man was literally moving. I don't know if you guys watch anime, but Dan season 2, when JJ he got taken over by his demon. He was about to like kill Momo, and then once he snapped out of it, he was still holding Momo, and then all crew inside, and he's like, move, man, swat away my man like a mosquito. He's like, yo, that's my shorty, yo, that's my team. What are you doing, fam? That's basically how Calvin Bassey was moving throughout the entirety of AFCON. Because the match after that, arguably man of the match against Morocco, I'm not gonna lie, this guy was shoving guys off the ball, cutting out passes, cutting out crosses. He was a one-man defense, and I just want to give my props to him. Another guy I want to give my props to, who I think was my favorite player to watch at AFCON, Alex Iwobi, because my man's a left winger. Tell me why my man's a left winger and he's playing like Ballon d'Or Rodri. He's playing like prime Iniesta. Every time he gets on the ball, he's always like finding a through ball to Lookman, a through ball to Osman, or one to the who's the other guy? Akor or Adam or whatever his name is, bro. He's actually been so diabolical, that one striker. But Alex Iwobi, wow, he has moved me this tournament. I did not know he could do that. And speaking of Calvin Bassey, the only thing I knew about him before this tournament was that clip of Chukwueze flaming this. He was just making fun of him, and it was just banter on the bus, so it was pretty funny. That's basically all I gotta say. Yeah, I feel like it's much easier to do these type of vids because I feel like once I started this channel compared to now, I'm a much better speaker. I kind of know what I'm going to say, and it's just really like, you know, I just gotta throw up some highlights on the screen, put some text. It's very easy to make these type of vids in like less than an hour. So yeah, you're going to be seeing much more of these vids more frequently. And with that said,